What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, man, and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about this the halftime performance. What's the guy named Bad Bunny? And it's causing a lot of controversy, and people, a lot of people were very disappointed with the halftime show, right? And so my thoughts are, and I probably agree with most people. Like when I watched it, I didn't really, because I couldn't understand, any Spanish or anything like that. Kind of really didn't know what was going on, right? And so my thing is, when you have somebody perform at the Super Bowl, it's like you having a somebody who has a niche. They have a niche like audience, but you have them performing on an international basis, right? On an international stage. And so when you have a niche, that means you only appeal to a certain segment of of the society, and in years past when you had different people perform, like you would have an artist on there who had crossover appeal. That that means that even if you wasn't, like who had crossover appeal? Like I mean, just about everybody who perform on it. Like if you had Diana Ross, it didn't matter. Like a lot of people like Diana Ross music. It don't matter if you black, white, Asian, or if you are somebody like Bruce Springsteen. I don't know if Bruce. I think Bruce Springsteen might have performed on there, but even if you don't always listen to Bruce Springsteen music, you know his songs, right? You can identify with that. So that's what I mean by like crossover appeal. Like artists who you may not listen to every day, you might hear their songs, or somebody like Lady Gaga, right? And wasn't Lady Gaga on there too? And so Lady Gaga, I don't know if that girl was Lady Gaga or not, right? But you know people, because you're familiar with their music, and that those are people who have crossover appeal. And then so it includes, that's a way to include like a big segment of the popular of the audience, right? And so when they brought this guy in Bad Bunny, um, a lot of all I just seen was a whole bunch of women just shaking and gyrating, right? But you don't, if there's a message there to be gained, you don't gain the message because you don't know what's going on. And I just hear so many people say that, well, you know, and they say the same thing. I don't understand what he's saying. I don't understand the themes of anything that he's trying to present. And a small segment probably could kind of like identify with what was going on. They picked up on it, but you did Bad Bunny a bad service, a disservice, because you put him on an international stage. A lot of times people do these Super Bowl shows, well, all the time they do the Super Bowl show for to enhance their image. But I don't think that this enhances Bad Bunny's image, because people, we watch the show, but we don't know, if we should go and support this guy, or because we people just didn't understand the show, right? And so with that being said, Jason Whitlock kind of says some of the same things. He goes a little bit further, with this. But I'm gonna play Jason Whitlock, his comments on his Bad Bunny performance. Then I'm gonna come back. Excuse me. I'm gonna come back and give some more of my opinion.
Nothing happened in this Super Bowl other than Bunny's ridiculous Super Bowl halftime deal. And it will be forever remembered as the worst Super Bowl halftime and the worst Super Bowl ever. I get it. The leftists are all over social media right now. Oh, it was amazing. The vibe. Oh, the vibe was incredible. Oh, but yes, you couldn't understand a word that Bad Bunny said, but the vibe. Couldn't you just feel the vibe and and it was just a celebration of Latino culture. The vibe, the vibe, the vibe. Hey man, at the end.
Let me just say this about what he just said, right? like if you go to Jamaica or if you go to Puerto Rico or something, and then you go to a party or something like that, or you can go to any other country in this world, like and you listening to their music and stuff like that, you will get the vibe, although you may not be understanding everything, and you'll get the vibe. But for some reason, like it was the vibe to this guy's music, like you just couldn't get it. You just, it just didn't it to me, it just was no connection between the music and his audience. Who else? I like, even like Carlos Santana, he Spanish and English, and some of the stuff he say in Spanish be so cool and stuff like that. So if you go somewhere and like Carlos Santana is performing, anybody like Carlos Santana is somebody who has that crossover appeal. And so anybody, because he just relate to anybody. But this guy right here, Bad Bunny, I thought was a poor choice.
End of the day, music is about the performer and what actually gets said, sung, harmonized into a microphone. And some Spanish speaking mumble rapper, are you kidding me? A Spanish speaking mumble rapper that you could not understand a word that was said. Oh, it was just so incredible. And those of you that don't like it, you don't like it because guess what? You're racist. No, we're not. We have a brain, and we're not going to do the cosplay. That halftime was an embarrassment. And let me break it down to you. You guys ever hear black people talk about it, and the racial idolaters talk constantly about Birth of a Nation? Birth of a Nation is the movie that came out in the early 1900s that everyone says, oh, it's the most racist movie ever. And it had all this impact on black people 100 years down the road because the president, I believe Woodrow Wilson may have seen it. I can't remember which president. Maybe it was Roosevelt or Woodrow Wilson. Saw it in the White House. It was shown at the White House. Oh, Birth of a Nation. It just set black people back 200 years. It showed, the KKK raiding plantations and black people being wild. That's what this Super Bowl halftime was. It was Birth of a Nation for Latinos. When I've watched this thing now 3 times. Bad Bunny walking through some jungle or some agricultural field or plantation, and while Latino people are chopping down, what are they chopping down? Corn, cotton? It's not cotton. Some sort of vegetables. They're migrant workers trapped in a field, working, doing all the work that Americans don't want to do. And while they're so happy just out in the fields, doing all the manual labor and farm labor that Americans don't want to do, they're drinking, they're gyrating, they're dancing, and they're having sex while some mumble rapper curses at them in Spanish as they celebrate just how happy they are out in these fields, picking vegetables and just working. I mean, literally, this was Latinos as migrant slaves. That's what this was. And they were so drunk and happy and gyrating and having sex that, hey, this is what America is. This was an embarrassment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think it was a missed opportunity. Um, you know, anytime you bring an artist on, I just think, um, this is an opportunity for an artist to expand his base, expand like his, like his the fans and stuff. But people couldn't relate to this guy Bad Bunny, right? And So even before he started to perform, I ain't feel a way either way about it. I was like, I'm gonna check it out and see what what happens, or what this is. I never heard of Bad Bunny until they made this selection, but Bad Bunny, in my opinion, just is somebody who has a niche audience, right? And if you have a niche audience uh, and then you put that person in a situation where now they're getting viewed by the whole world internationally. I think you just do that person a disservice, because a lot of people are not really going to feel that connection. A lot of people are not going to be interested in that, and that's what happened right here. I think that they thought by like just having a bunch of women on there just shaking and gyrating, that would probably be, you know, I don't know. The music wasn't good. Wasn't no connection to the music. The performance as far as the dancers and stuff was decent, but other than that, man, it just wasn't nothing to the show.
This was Sugar Canes. There we go. Thank you. Someone Sugar Canes. Thank you, Hadley. Yes. They were so happy, working in these sugarcane fields that, they're just gyrating all over. Everybody's erect, everybody's moist, and they're just gyrating all over each other while Bad Bunny mumble raps in the background. And you have white liberals and liberals everywhere, because they hate Donald Trump and because they want to troll Donald Trump. This is seen as a positive. And because white people are like, hey man, can we get some country music or just English speaking music up in this halftime? Could every Super Bowl halftime not be a troll of traditional America? And because it was another troll of traditional America, you have white and black liberals pretending like it was the greatest thing. I've marinated on this all morning.
You know what? I mean, like I said earlier, I don't have a problem with like Spanish, like like, and a lot of people like different music. They like Spanish music. They like, if you go, like I said, you go to Jamaica or wherever you go to, but it's still got to be a way for that music to connect to different people, different cultures. I didn't really get that from this guy, so um yeah, I just don't think it was a connection there with that music. So, and I don't, right, as far as like the political end of it, like maybe that was the whole purpose of it, is just to like have people like divide, and it may have been because like we got the situation now that's going on with ICE, right? And ICE is deporting a lot of they deporting people to different countries, Spanish people, just deporting people all over the world, basically, if you don't belong here. So, and is causing more division, right? So if this guy Bad Bunny had a positive message to put out there, we wouldn't know about it because of how he presented it to us, right? So we don't know what that was about. We don't, uh, people who I know, everybody I know just said it wasn't a good performance. They didn't get the message. So it just basically was a waste. It was very disappointing, basically. And so, but I think maybe the purpose was is to divide people, divide and conquer. So you have people who are used to things happening in a traditional way, upset with people who are trying to, um, you know, maybe who they think are trying to force their culture on them or force their beliefs on them. So it was about divide and conquer, but I still, I don't know. I just think it was a disappointment as a show. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.